Today I'm going to teach about something that's superlatives. Are you a bit confused about superlatives? Don't worry, I'm here to teach you. Superlatives. Now, understand, I'm teaching you with adjectives, not adverbs, because that's a whole other lesson. So, superlatives with adjectives. They're the best. We don't say they're the goodest for a reason. What we have to understand about superlatives are there can be only one superlative. If you're looking at another grammar called comparative, there have to be two things to compare. For example, red and blue, purple and yellow. But with superlatives, there's only one thing. And what we're telling you is that this one is number one. This one is the best. There's no other competition for this adjective. So the way that we make superlatives, you're going to have two choices. You can either put the plus your adjective plus est, or you can put the plus most plus your adjective. So how do you know which adjective will get est and which one will get the most? I'll tell you. We get to play a game. We get to do something very fun called counting syllables. First of all, we have to understand what a syllable is. A syllable is a vowel sound, or how long the word is. So, when we count syllables, we have to be very careful, and we're only going to count the vowel sounds of the words, not the vowels, because this gets confusing. Once we have counted the vowel sounds, we use est or the most. So let's do some simple examples, and I'll tell you our game. The first one, how many syllables or how many verb sounds or vowel sounds do we have in the word beautiful? If we simply count the vowels, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've got 5 vowels, but in English, beautiful is not 5 syllables. It's only 3. Because if you have 2 or 3 vowels together, they're only going to make 1 vowel sound. So in English, the word beautiful is only 3 syllables. Beautiful. Okay? If we look at this word, gentle, we don't say gently, but because it's L-E together, this is going to make another syllable sound. So we say gentle. This one is 2 syllables. This one is 3. What about this one? First of all, count the vowels. How many vowels are there? 1, 2. Because the vowels are separated with consonants, the vowels are not together, we can actually count these as 2. Narrow. 2 syllables. We have this word, busy. Busy again. 1 syllable, 1 vowel sound. 1 vowel sound is 2. Hungry. 1 and 1. This is 2. This one's easy. There's only 1 vowel. There's only 1 vowel sound. So it's going to be 1 syllable. Happy. 2 vowels. 2 syllables. You understand? Try and do these ones. Now be careful in English. If we have an E at the end of the word, we don't say it. So we don't say bluey. We just say blue. So in this, how many syllables are there? How many vowel sounds? 2? 1. So we just say blue. The E is silent. Okay? My favorite color is 2 syllables. Purple. Again, I told you if it ends in LE, we're going to actually put another syllable here. This is an exception to our vowel counting rule. So we say purple. Good. How many syllables? Good has 2 vowels together, but it only makes 1 sound. Bad has 1. What about this one? We don't say in English largy, we say large. So, again, because the E is silent, this only has 1 syllable. And a lot of people get confused. But there's only 1. And this one, easy, big. So if you look at our words, the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to count the syllables. We're going to count the vowel sounds. 3, 2, 1. Now, this is how we have to figure out when do we use EST and when do we use the most. This part's easy. If your word is small, so if your word has one syllable, it's always going to be EST. So we say the bluest. What? That's very strange. Ronnie, how can something be bluest? Well, color is an adjective. So you can say, wow, that's the bluest sky I've ever seen in my life. It's beautiful. We can use colors with this because colors are adjectives. So it might sound weird for you at first, but it's completely normal. Just like me. If your word is small and it has one syllable, you're going to use EST. If your word has more than one syllable, then you're going to use the most. So, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, we'd put EST. 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, we would put the most. So, beautiful would become the most. Beautiful because it has 3. Okay? With everything in English, we have some exceptions. And exceptions make things a little bit more difficult to understand. As a basic rule, if you have one syllable, we add EST. If we have more than one syllable, we're going to put the most. But then we get these crazy words that end in a Y. So, hungry, busy, and happy. These all have 2 syllables, but it doesn't matter because if you have your adjective that ends in a Y, we think, okay, well, it's more than one, we'd use the most. Oh no, not in English grammar. If your adjective ends in a Y, we always change it to IEST. We never use most with Y. We can only change the Y to I and add EST. So, busy, even though it's 2 syllables, we don't say the most busy. We actually have to say the busiest. And we always need to put the. Okay? Hungry, because it ends in a Y, we're going to say the hungriest. I'm the hungriest teacher on the planet. Happy, again, because it ends in a Y, we can't say more happy. We're going to say IEST, happiest. Are there any ones that end in a Y here? No. So, when we do this, the first thing that I would do, even before I count the syllables, I would look for any of my adjectives that end in a Y. As soon as they end in a Y, it's always IEST. Those ones are easy. Now, as you know, everything in English is crazy and people like to talk about things, and sometimes rules are a little bit foggy, which means sometimes they don't make sense. So, there's another exception to the 1 syllable or more than 1 syllable rule, and it is adjectives that end in ER, LE, OR, or OW. For example, gentle ends in LE. Narrow ends in OW. Because these 2 end with these endings, we're going to make it EST. Now, if you said the most gentle, nothing happens because people debate this. People say, oh, do we say the most gentle or do we say the gentlest? A lot of people, it's a gray area, which means that grammar people fight over it. Don't fight. Choose which one you like the most. But this is a rule that sometimes, not always, we follow. So, gentle will become the gentlest. Again, if you said more gentle, you might hear people say more gentle, and hey, that's fine. They've chosen rule number 2. So, we say the gentlest. Narrow, because it ends in an OW, we would say the narrowest. These are the exceptions to our 2 vowel sound rule. Sad. What do you guys think? Sad has 1 syllable, so we're going to add EST. So I would say, oh, that is the saddest dog I've ever seen. And this is another thing that's confusing. Sometimes we make the consonant double, sometimes we don't. We're not doing spelling, so let's worry about that in a whole new lesson. Happy, because it ends in a Y, we put the happiest. Okay? Purple. Whoops. What do you guys think about purple? Because purple ends in LE, we're going to say the purplest. Okay. If you look down here, we've got 2 more exceptions. The first one is good will change to the best. We don't say goodest. That even sounds funny. And look at. I didn't write they're the goodest. I wrote they're the best. So, good and bad are exceptions. These guys are the rebels. We're like, we're not even going to do this or this. We're going to have our own category, and far is coming with us because we're special. Good will always say the best. Do you guys know a singer called Tina Turner? Really old. Simply the best. She's using superlatives. She's the best. Bad, we don't say 1 syllable the baddest. No, we have to say the worst. So I can say, oh, wow, that was the worst song Ronnie has ever sang. She really needs to take singing lessons. This word, large. Large, as I told you, the E is silent. It has 1 syllable, so you're going to use what? Would you use A or B? 1 syllable, would you use the largest? Or do you think we say the most large? Ooh, the answer is largest, because there's 1 syllable. We would say, wow, that is the largest pizza I've ever eaten. And big, again, 1 syllable. We would say the biggest. So, the other exception is far, okay? And this one's is, far is just like, whew, do you know what? Good and bad. I'm not even playing your game. I'm going to do something completely crazy, and I'm going to give you 2 choices. You can say the farthest, or you can say the furthest. Both of these are the same, but the only difference is we just put a TH. So it's not that crazy, but it's just the spelling's different. So far, you can say the farthest. It's whatever you feel more comfortable with, okay? So if you want to use furthest, go ahead. If you want to say farthest, awesome. The only difference is the spelling of the word, which is a big difference. So, the next time someone asks you or you have a test about superlatives, what you are going to do, first of all, is you're going to pay special attention to the exceptions of our rules in English. The Y always changes to an IEST. Doesn't matter how many syllables. Rule number 2, If you want to remember it like that, that's easy, but it's not all the time. And definitely good, bad, and far. These ones will never change. These are 100%. You cannot change them to anything else. The batterist doesn't work. So, the first thing that you're going to do with your list of adjectives is you're going to look for your exceptions. The second thing you're going to do, where the fun begins, is you're going to count the syllables. You're going to count the vowel sounds. Be careful with silent E's. After that, we decide if it's one syllable word, the word small, you're going to put the with the adjective and est. If the word is more than one syllable, you're going to put the most plus the original adjective. So be careful, because sometimes I hear or I see this. Oh my God, that person was the most beautifulest person I have ever seen. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You can't have both. You can only have one. You can't say the most beautifulest. It's difficult to say. So be careful. You can never put these two together. You can only use A or B. You can never say the most beautifulest. The most farthest. Never. The most biggest. It's wrong. You will hear people say this, maybe children will say, or people will say to be funny. But this, be careful. It's something that I see a lot, and it's a big mistake. When you're speaking, enjoy your superlatives. You're doing the best job ever, and I am gone.